Welcome to Through the Rough, a place where real-life people share the real-life experiences that have shaped us into who we are today.
We're about to dive into a raw and powerful story from the Through the Rough podcast. It's about what happens when a life hits absolute rock bottom and the brutal, beautiful, and kind of miraculous fight to come back from it. Let's get right into it. Just imagine hearing those words from your roommate about a guest right there in your own home. This one sentence, spoken out loud, is the fuse that ignites one of the most terrifying nights of a man's life, a night that pushed him right to the absolute edge. So, where on earth did a comment like that come from? Well, this was the moment Drew realized his life had spun out of control and veered into seriously dangerous territory, all thanks to his roommate, a guy named Bill. To really get this, you have to understand the situation. Bill wasn't just some random guy. He was actually a brilliant guitarist who also happened to suffer from severe manic bipolar disorder. And on this night, he was completely off his medication. So this horrifying idea, it had probably been building up inside him all day long. Okay, so Drew's first reaction is pure de-escalation. Get the woman out of there, now. He manages to rush her to her car, but just as he turns around, Bill bolts out of the apartment running straight for her. The whole situation is just exploding. And this is the moment something just snaps. In Drew's own words, going red was like a primal switch flipped. Seeing the woman he was trying to protect suddenly in direct danger, a survival instinct he hardly ever felt just took complete control. You had this perfect storm brewing. Everyone was drunk. Bill was in the middle of a full-blown psychotic episode. When Drew finally catches up to him, he throws just one single clean right punch. It sends Bill straight to the pavement, completely out cold. But it wasn't over. And this is the raw, unfiltered reality of what happened next. That first punch might have been defense, but what came after was just pure, unrestrained rage. That red had completely taken over, and Drew was just relentlessly beating his roommate on the ground. The only thing that stopped him was the woman screaming his name, her words finally cutting through that red haze. And in that moment, he realized just how close he was. As he said later, if she wouldn't have come around the car and said something, I would have killed that man that night. So you have to ask yourself, how does a person's life get to a point of such insane violence and desperation? Well, to understand that one night, we have to zoom out and look at the years leading up to it. A life that was ruled by just one thing, alcohol. What was his world really like? Before the fight, before hitting rock bottom, Drew's entire existence had just shrunk. It wasn't about career goals or relationships or even being happy. Nope. It was just about getting through the day. All of it driven by a very simple and very grim checklist. This was his entire reality. Every single day was this frantic cycle, just trying to solve these three basic problems. It's a primal way to live that leaves zero room for anything else. The future doesn't exist. There's only the gnawing need of right now. You know, the disease also made him a master of deception, hiding the truth not just from others, but from himself. He told this story about living with his fiancée at the time. He'd buy a 24-pack of beer on his way home from work, but he'd also buy 2 tall boys to chug in the car, just so he could walk in the door with what looked like a full case. It was a constant performance. And this quote, it just captures that mindset perfectly. It's like tunnel vision. The only thing that matters is feeding that addiction to quiet the noise in your head. It's this constant, heavy burden that just eats away at you. From this dark place of just barely surviving, the final descent was swift. But right there at the absolute bottom, in the quiet of a dark closet, something totally unexpected happened. A moment of what he can only describe as grace. I mean, just look at how quickly it all spiraled. After that fight with Bill, he got a DUI. Then, in some delusional moment, he literally set his own Jeep on fire because he didn't want to pay for it anymore. The end of the line was passing out, totally drunk, in a walk-in closet. And this is how Drew defines what happened next. It's a concept that can be kind of hard to wrap your head around, you know? But for him, Greece was simple. It was an unearned gift given to him for free when he was at his absolute lowest point. When he woke up on that closet floor, the obsession, the need to drink, it was just gone. It wasn't a logical decision he made. It was a thought that just appeared in his head, clear as day. I'm going back to AA. And that was it. The desire was just lifted. But see, that moment of grace, that wasn't the end of the story. That's a huge misconception about recovery. It was the beginning of a lifelong journey, a daily commitment to walking what the Book of Alcoholics Anonymous calls the road of happy destiny. And the stakes could not be any higher. Drew is brutally honest with himself about this. He says he knows for a fact that he has another relapse in him. What he doesn't know is if he'd ever be lucky enough to find his way back to sobriety a second time. Drew's own father gave him this incredibly powerful way to picture his addiction. It turns the disease into this relentless enemy, always there, always staying strong, just waiting in the parking lot for one moment of weakness. It never, ever goes away. So what does it really take? It's not about one single moment of victory. It's about the daily choice to keep walking, to do the work, and to hold on tight to that moment of grace. Because for him, the stakes are literally life and death. Look, this has been just a tiny glimpse into Drew's absolutely incredible journey of survival and recovery. To hear about his life now, the relationships he's managed to repair, and the wisdom he's gained along the way, you can find his complete, unfiltered story on the Through the Rough podcast. It is a conversation you will not forget.
Thank you for listening. Don't forget to stop by throughtherough.net to check out our latest episodes, merchandise, and hit that donation tab to keep content coming. See you again next week.